Hey guys, I promise this isn't the progression cast, but I thought this was kind of fascinating. A replay pack in here, I picked a platinum player fully ready to cast this game not knowing the time, and then it was over. Okay. Sometimes it happens. Player disconnects, or maybe they leave. I want to play the ZvT matchup. Then I noticed the time. AlphaStar wins this game and then sits in the game for a full 45 seconds before leaving. It's not building anything, so it's registered that it's won. It just hasn't left. So anyways, just kind of a neat tidbit. Let's get into the real cast. Which weighs more, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane? A gallon of water. Butane is lighter fluid. Welcome back to AlphaStar. Sorry about the no dad jokes for the last couple of these progression casts, but let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? Now, fighting at a platinum level MMR and a platinum level opponent. To the top left, we have the red Zerg. It's AlphaStar. And their opponent to the bottom right. Now, Terran, so shaking things up a bit, we have a platinum player. You're gonna hear a couple of awkward pauses, probably during the duration of this particular cast. I've decided foolishly to try and do these all in one day. I'm really campaigning hard to get your subscription to the channel, so I'm a little hoarse in my voice for this one. I'll be muting periodically, but make no mistake, I very much want to get this done. I'm really excited to see how far AlphaStar can push this. If we'll cast all these games straight to GM, or if AlphaStar falls off the rails and we swap races for another day of casting. Regardless, thank you guys for watching the AlphaStar games here on the channel. It's been a really fun project. Didn't expect it to take off the way it did, and you know, it's just cool that you guys like this content. I'm glad that we found something we both can like together. So again, thanks for watching the channel. But at the platinum level, some interesting things come into equations. There's a lot of kind of smack talk you'll hear about ranks in Starcraft 2, some jokingly, some serious. Platinum's kind of the last gatekeep before things get real tryhard. Oftentimes, Diamond is described as a rank that is kind of like Masters, but not as good. You know, they got a solid idea of how the game should work, but can't always execute it correctly, etc. But Platinum's still that level where, like, random dumb builds work. And in this case, Blue appears to be going for 3 Rax Reaper off of 1 gas. Can't say that sounds like a good idea. By the way, that was actually an intentional cough. I just realized the joke doesn't land as good when you just finished disclaiming, hey guys, I'm gonna be a little bit hoarse for this video. Way to go, me. High five. Anyways, it's multiple Reapers coming out of 1 base, and this is fascinating because of the scouting that comes with this. Initially, this doesn't look like anything cheeky. It's the extra 2 Raxes in the back that make this weird. There's a player now kind of retired, but he's one of my favorites, Optimus. He would follow in the footsteps of Euthermo when it came to Reapers. And one of the games I cast of Optimus prior to his, I guess, departure from Starcraft, the man went 5 Rax Reaper, and I thought, damn, that's impressive. Then he went 8 Rax Reaper. He built 3 more barracks in a game where he already went 5 Rax Reaper. And it worked. And I hate that it worked, but it worked. And this was in a tournament I was hosting, so it was pro players. It wasn't random Joe Schmoes on the ladder. So I just want to highlight a couple cool things happening with this too. Not only is this Mass Reaper, he's gone for an engineering bay. Now it looks like he's transitioning out of Reapers, which is a shame because I was about to get really excited about the engineering bay. There's another player I'll reference here named Ruff. Ruff has a +1 Reaper build. Now granted, it comes with a planetary fortress, and that's a whole nother can of worms. But if you don't know Ruff, hearing that build description at a glance sounds dumb until you realize it works, and he's beaten Koreans doing stuff like that. So I was really hoping our Platinum player was heading in that direction. Well, a little bit of miss micro cost one of the Reapers, but it's a follow-up with Marauders. What is this game? All right, grenades getting put down, some drones going down. Really, the damage here from the Reapers I don't think is worth it. But getting kills always feels good. I don't care what rank you are. Sometimes it really is the there's a really, you know, we talk a lot about resources in StarCraft. You know, there's minerals, there's gas, there's a lesser spoken about resource called attention span, but then there's also that hidden 4th resource, and that's the you factor. Because when you say you, by killing drones, it doesn't matter that you didn't do it cost efficiently. You felt so good getting that done because you know it hurt your opponent a little bit. Unfortunately, with AlphaStar in consideration, it is the only thing on the planet that would be immune to the U factor. So regardless of what little wins we could, in a very petty way, scrape from this didn't work out for our human. The Marauder follow-up is really weird too. I can't speak to whether I think this will be good or not. I really don't think it'll be very good. But there is a stim timing, concussive shells are on the way, and a natural base is at least happening. So there is theoretically a world out here where this does enough damage to set AlphaStar back to the point where at least blue can expand. But right now, as it stands, hold up in one base like this, producing 3 Marauders at a time? Hello? What is this? +1 weapons with this too? Let's talk about how this will work in the normal sense of StarCraft 2. So forget the AI in the platinum level for a second. Marauders in general, great against anything they can kite. And usually that stems to like zealots, that stems to queens or things that the concussive shell will really help you against. Zerglings? Not so much, partially because even though you can slow them, you can see they're still so fast while slowed. Add on to the fact that there's just going to be a ton of them. And a Marauder's greatest weakness, outside of something like an Immortal blowing it to smithereens, is literally just getting surrounded. There used to be a proxy Marauder build that Terran players would do, but then it turned out just pulling drones was enough to deal with it. So that fell off even in pro competitive play. It does show up once in a while, and you'll see players like Euthermal still utilize it, but neither here nor there. What is here there, oh god, I can't speak anymore. 8 Marauders, 5 Queens, 11 Lings. I think if the Marauders kite these back, this is totally doable. Yeah, it's not about standing their ground and fighting. This isn't a typical battle where you're just like stimming in with medevacs and Marines. There's gonna be a little bit of kiting necessary, but this trickle forward of units has allowed our platinum player to take a natural base, so that's set up now. Being down 1 base to the Zerg doesn't hurt nearly as bad as being down 25 SCVs, but that's, you know, we'll talk about that later. Marauders, funny enough, can take the baneling hits. Oh, there's the stim off a creep. No chance to connect to these. Not with the banelings at least. Those actually took down that queen. It blows me away. But here's the problem. This is what I talked about earlier. Like the greatest weakness here is going to be getting surrounded. So constantly force to kite. But every time you kite, yeah, the Zerg loses damage, but you also lose positioning. And now stuck on the wrong side of this map, these Marauders have kind of got to fall back. They're all way too weak to continue forward. And it does look like starport production has begun, so keeping these Marauders alive, I would say, be priority 1 above all else right now. Get them healed up and go in for round 2. I can see this maybe doing a bit more damage with medevac support, but not in its current state of just these gorilla men on the ground. Oh my god, is this just mass Marauders? What is this game? This might be my favorite worst game of StarCraft 2. Because 2 extra barracks with tech labs have to be from our Marauders. Right? Question mark? I mean, Marines are the standard for this matchup, and we've talked a little bit about this for AlphaStar. AlphaStar doesn't usually tend to respond to the abnormal very well. If you're doing mech or you're Florencio or whoever, if you're playing off beats, or at least outside the parameters of normal, AlphaStar does seem to struggle. So that's why players like mech players have had mild success with AlphaStar as well. So maybe, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, maybe there's some weird world where like this mass Marauder build throws AlphaStar off, but I really, for now, don't think that's the case. Because if this was backed up by a really good macro, I would be all applauding this. But AlphaStar's the one who's got the macro. AlphaStar's floating 1,000 minerals moving towards a 4th base, while our humans still stuck on 2. So, unfortunately, while the army supplies are close to even, the income is nowhere close. Oh, nice wall there. Okay, that'll hold the top with a Widow Mine too. I already know the title of this video is just gonna be like Mass Marauder ? Because it does look like there's a transition coming here as Marines are being built, but oh, that was unfortunate. I guess Zergling ran up and the friendly fire killed the SCV building the wall. Awkward. But I was gonna say, like, these are Marines being produced out of tech lab build a barracks with a reactor, damn it. Oh, the inefficiency is like so hard to watch. Getting supply block to 86 as well, 94. I know these numbers all too well. I also get supply blocked at these terrible numbers because I am bad at Starcraft 2. But well, supply blocked or not, I do like the units the Platinum player has in this situation. Liberators to back this up. There's not really much anti-air. I mean, Queens and Hydralisks, sure, but if properly supported by these Marauders, those should get nowhere close to it. A real big problem here is going to be these Banelings, though. Oh, God. Even if this Widowmine gets the most magical shot in the universe, it can't kill all of the Banelings. Also, AlphaStar may be pulling this back home soon, too. 4 Medivacs is daunting as hell to see. Lynx have already run back home, but oh, not sure where to land these. Unfortunately, gives AlphaStar lots of time to respond, and Hydras and Queens on top of the Medivacs! Oh God, flying into more Hydras. First Medivac goes down. Well, second one technically. First one leading the pack. Another one gonna get a Spore Crawler. Full cargo. Oh no, gets out of there with 7 HP alive. I have some muscles being clenched in my lower body right now that just won't unclench watching that. That was so hard to watch. Now AlphaStar decides to go for the counterattack, and I think this is the right move. Go for the killing blow. So many Hydras and Banelings. There's like no way it doesn't just walk through this, right? I like the idea of +2 weapons as well. At least our Platinum player like seems to have an idea of what they want to do. Unfortunately, the execution is just really, oh God, really not here. Banelings get some good connects. Luckily or unluckily, most of the cargo was never unloaded from the medevac though, so some units survive. I say with another question mark. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Cancel the base. Liberator dies. A lot of Banelings got kind of wasted there, so I was gonna say taking down the wall might be a problem, but never mind. Wall taken care of. Oh God, I just realized how much orbital energy is being banked up right now. Blue's not being anywhere near active enough to require scans, so why not just go for mules? And then I realized, oh, because they've got 2,000 minerals banked up, because they didn't build a barracks with a reactor to produce units fast enough to efficiently use the money. So, all in all, this is a pretty bad game for Blue. But again, we're not watching this particular progression series to see how our humans are measuring up and critique them. It is more so about watching AlphaStar as it progresses through the ranks. And I'm not sure where the switch off is going to be, because it was somewhere around Diamond/Masters when I started casting AlphaStar replays from the Pro replays and not from like a Deepmind replay pack. And I believe, and I could be wrong about this, I believe there was a different version of AlphaStar between those 2 points. So this version of AlphaStar we're watching right now might not necessarily be the same one that we watch when we're casting like the GM games, for example. But it is cool to look back and see where it started and how it progressed. And 10 Infestors. Okay, AlphaStar, someone's been watching a little bit of Wings of Liberty, okay? 10 Infestors is ridiculous. And I guess this is a period of the game where Infested Terrans are still in the matchup. So free army on demand. Pair that up with some Broodlords though, and this is actually disgusting. Ultra's Cavern was made, but no Ultras being made yet. Carapace is on the way. Funny enough, with the amount of Marauders in play, Ultras would not be the move. In fact, Ultras would be probably the worst thing AlphaStar could make going into this, because it's the only unit that the Terran player can handle. Ironically enough, between Liberators, Marauders, like dealing with the Ultras won't be a problem. Even with Hellbats, the Zerglings, the Banelings, they're just gonna wash through that front line. So like anything labeled as light is gonna have a really bad time in this game. Although I say that, and there's not that many Banelings in play. So does this come down to the Infestors? Oh, there we go. Broodlord's on the way. So, okay. Last game of AlphaStar, we talked about how maybe it has a stopping point. It doesn't know how to progress past a point in its earlier phases, but that's clearly not the case, because here in the Platinum MMR, which I know for a fact this was still the same version of AlphaStar, it clearly has a late game in mind. It has Broodlords and Ultras and Infestors and all of these things at its knowledge base, but I just realized it's only going for Pathogen Glands after having made 10 Infestors. This is an upgrade that gives Infestors extra energy, but only to newly built ones, so it doesn't affect the 10 already made. And And the 10 already made are not only expensive, but eating up a lot of supply. Okay, well, Link's push off the third base. I was like curious why there's such a big amount of units massing up to the top, but funny enough, holds on to this first wave. No problemo. Hellbats helped wash off a lot of the Zerglings, and the Liberators did what they needed to do with the Hydras. So excellent hold out of blue. But this is a game where they have 34 SCVs. And not because they've lost a bunch of SCVs, they've just never made that many. Macro hasn't been the case. It's all been about army. And oh, please let that command center be safe. Okay, good. This is SCV repairing it. I was like, no way you save this and you're gonna let it burn, dude. Too much of a feels bad man moment. But the infestor support here for the Ultras is going to be wild, because there's going to be a lot of fungal growths going down, allowing the Ultras to maybe catch up to some of these units. Hellbats, they do have a pretty nice health pool. They might not die to the Ultras super easy, but I mean, 41 damage with Splash is going to take care of most clustered units. Add into the fact that fungal growth is going to deal another 30 damage while slowing these units down over time. I mean, okay, a Marine has 45 health. One fungal plus one ultra attack is a dead Marine. Just to give some proper context. So like a lot of this army is going to pop, but things like Marauders and Hellbats, they're supposed to be able to take some of these hits a little bit better. I think a lot of this will come down to the Liberators, but ultimately with 6,000 minerals and 2,000 gas in the bank, I don't think AlphaStar gives a flying about what our Terran player has. Because no matter how bad AlphaStar takes this fight, they have 72 larvae banked up and ready to go. There is a full remax waiting to happen. In fact, I want AlphaStar to lose this fight so bad. I want AlphaStar to lose all 116 army supply, and I want to see AlphaStar remake that with one click of a my fungal growth. Oh no, not another one. This is there's like no medevacs here. Forget the Ultras. The Infestors alone are gonna kill pop, mother. Okay, now of course there's no real answer for the Liberators, and the Infested Terrans aren't going to cut it, but this was a good ground wipe for sure. And with that problem being taken care of, the Ultras now start heading across the map. I do want to bring up though, as bad as that was for Terran, like absolutely horrendous for Terran, they did kill 4 Ultras, and the remaining Ultras are nearly dead too. The amount of Marauders and Liberators in that fight, again, kind of funny to see, but absolutely worth having when you're fighting these beastly top tier units. But no matter how much I want to admire the tenacity of this Terran, they're just up against way too much. The numbers game is literally insane. 7-1. Too many minerals to fight against. There's Corruptors, by the way, which I'm sure are going to be Broodlords, waiting for some of that supply to open up. 7 more Infestors. I mean, Corruptors take out the Liberators, Corruptors take out the Medevacs. But regardless of whether they do or don't, it's the fact that they can at any point turn into Broodlords and just make this an even worse situation than it is. But yeah, they're going to get the main job done, taking out the Libs. 2 Ultras is not much, but they are taking all of the hits, clearing out most of the ground. Those Infestors are still here. Nope, pardon me. Infestors past tense were here. Where are you guys going? You're a pretty integral part of the army. Oh, Caustic Spray on the Orbital. Could lift this and save it. Likely not going to. Fungal growth and a lot of Infested Terrans coming down here on top of the Marauders. Unfortunately, these Infestors are getting wrecked. So many of them die at full energy. That was embarrassing, but with weapon upgrades and Infested Terrans, what little there was on the map, can't fight back. And oh, the Medevac's getting hunted down too. 9 more Ultras. AlphaStar is choosing to remax with 9 more Ultras rather than make Broodlords and win the game. Honest to God, it feels like one of the Google team members, Deepmind, whatever, they were watching this play out live at their computer monitoring it, and they're like, you know what? Let me just take over here real quick. Grabs the mouse and keyboard and just starts messing about, because Alphas are so far ahead in this game. There's no way to lose this. Your grandmother, who has never touched a computer, who somehow opens a browser and immediately downloads 10 viruses, your grandmother could play this game in AlphaStar shoes and not lose this game. Just the default attack on these units is gonna be wild. But smack talking, put on pause, going back to AlphaStar. It is very interesting looking at this late game approach. It's not a good one. I want to be very clear about that. Even at a time where infestors were really strong at the time of this game being played out, this is not a great composition. It's supportive of one another. Like, the infestors are supposed to support the Ultralisks, but as we've been seeing, that's not quite how this has been playing out. And so many infestors have died this game without casting anything. Ooh. Can't lift the planetary fortress, unfortunately, so Caustic Spray is going to get a kill on. Oh no, pulls back. Not that a Caustic Spray kill was necessary, but a Caustic Spray kill there was kind of expected. I'm feeling a little blue ball right now by that. Not happy, AlphaStar. Well, this might be the last hurrah of our Terran, because all things considered, they are mining out. This third base is all they have to work with. If this army dies, oh god, AlphaStar has so many minerals. This is actually ridiculous. I wanted to title this video Mass Marauders ? Maybe what I should call this is like minerals ? This is ridiculous. Actually, the most ridiculous part about this is how difficult AlphaStar is at having it finishing such a small amount of army supply and finishing the player. When you consider how many, if you've watched a lot of the previous AlphaStar games, you know that AlphaStar goes toe-to-toe with a lot of these players. But for whatever reason, this earlier version doesn't seem to have a clue about finishing them off. Oh, come on. Get those money fungals. Get those money fungals! Maybe AlphaStar's just going for style at this point, who knows? But there's not enough medevacs to heal this up, so many of these Marines are about to die to green. The ultras weren't even necessary! I didn't think AlphaStar could BM, but I think we just witnessed the closest thing to it. Holy cow, that was disgusting. GG. AlphaStar continues its progression up the ranks. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Oh god, so many minerals. 12,810.